to hear these stories. You grow
We
to hear
are
these stories.
we are live. We are live. What is up, Twitch? What is
Twitch,
up, Facebook?
Facebook,
What is up, YouTube? Make
YouTube.
sure y'all share this. Tell your mama's mama to tap in with us, man. Let me change the name of the stream so that we can actually tell people what's actually going on right now. Cause it's management with Mike Chancey. How you feel today, Mike?
Oh shit, you stuck already.
How we feel today, Mike?
Oh, you good? You was just froze for a minute.
That was on your end. I'm good.
I was good. I was moving and grooving in the picture. I just seen you. You was stuck like.
You were stuck too. I was like, oh, we good. I'm good on this side.
But how I'm doing today, I'm straight, man. I'm good. Went for a nice little ride today. Just get outside, ride through the city a little bit.
That's what's up.
I'm sitting there drinking my tea like
Yeah,
an old head.
you know. I ain't gonna say much about that. I'm gonna just say what I'm saying and get on about. You ain't gonna catch me, okay? Man, I'm super excited. I don't know who's in here yet, but it's gonna be a good day. We're gonna have some fun. Shout out to y'all checking out on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's checking out on Twitch. We're super excited. I'm actually super pumped to have a homie, Mike Chancey, Mellow Mac, the ruler, the one, the only. Okay, don't nobody know. We go back, way back. I don't think they know, bro.
Nah,
I don't think they know.
they'll learn though.
They'll learn. They will learn, man. Man. So you said you went for a drive today?
Had to get out the house, man. I do it like every Wednesday, man. Got to get out the crib. As long as I ain't around no people, I just go ride around. Gas is cheap right now, so you know, gas is cheap in LA right now. We call 240 cheap.
Man, listen.
Cheap. Usually we had 350, 340.
Listen, we was my wife said that it was what? She said 99 cents over on the west side of Cleveland somewhere.
Oh shit, you got to send me a package.
Package.
I'm about to pay. What's it called? Cash app you $100. I need
a package of
gallons.
gas.
I need 100 gallons.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna just share this one more time and then I'll start the recording. So what you got coming up, man? I know people haven't, I know we're gonna talk a little bit about it, but what you got coming up, what some of your artists got coming up? Talk to me a little bit about some of that stuff.
Well, we got music out now, for instance. So y'all could all Google Sierra Sellers. Neo soul singer. She just dropped her project in March called Ophelia. It's been doing pretty good. Couple. I mean, it's only 5 records and put you in the mood. You know what I mean? Some real good smooth music, man. Some good smooth neo soul. She's coming from the heart with it. It's pretty dope. Check that out, Ophelia. Pick Protect just released his Sticky Fingers remix on Monday.
Okay.
You could check that out. It's like a Sticky Fingers lo-fi remix. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just the beat style changed up. Got a little lo-fi. I mean, got a little video with it. So that's pretty dope. You can check that out. Y'all Google Johnny Good. He just re-released his one of his EPs that he had out back in the day.
You re-released it?
Yeah, what happened? He had ran into a label issue before, and he had took all his music off due to an issue with him and one of the labels and whatnot. He took all his music down, but now he just put it all back up. He ain't put it all back up. He slowly but surely putting it back up. So he just re-released an EP called Student of the Month. I think one of the lead songs on there is with him and Wiz Khalifa. So
Okay. Shout out Ja Keys in the building.
Yeah, so you Google Johnny Good. That's G-triple-O-D. 3 O's and a D.
G-triple-O-D. Crazy.
Yeah, so we what else we got going on, man? That's about it right now with the project pipeline. You know, if there's producers on the chat line, we always looking for music. Right now, Sierra Sellers is definitely looking for some how do we want to say this? Some house soul type music, some soul house music, if you know what I mean. Like
some soul house. That. Okay. That's different.
She looking for some of that right now. If anybody got some.
Okay.
Up tempo, because she's already working on the next project right now. On the next project. So, you know, just stay tuned to what we got going on. You can always check it to my page. Tap into my page on IG, Mellow Mac the Ruler. I'll be creating a new page within the next 2 weeks, M Chancey management page. So then you'll have all the stuff from all the artists, you know what I'm saying? From everybody that we're working with, from even the guys that I'm consulting with, and the producers, what they got going on. Oh, rappers. I need y'all to do this. Because one of my producers right now got a challenge right now. It's called the Snow Flurries in LA Challenge, because it's a beat. So I need y'all to go to Nisha Beats page. That's Nisha Beats. Go to his page. And if you like the beat, if you're a rapper, you're going to like the beat. And I need y'all to, you know, videotape y'all. I said videotape. Wow.
Show your age, my G.
I told you I'm sipping on my tea like an old head right now.
Yo, that's hilarious.
I need you to record yourself dropping a freestyle over that. Because, you know what I mean? So you could go to his page, check out everything that's going on about it. That's Nisha Beats on, actually, I'm sorry, Nisha World. His name is World. His name is Nisha Beats, but his IG tag is Nisha World.
And he's dope. He's dope. I remember that was, I think that was like probably one of the last times we was all in the studio together.
Back in the Burg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was dope. All right, we're gonna start recording. Man, welcome back to another day in the life with the Zone Media. Welcome. This is super dope. Y'all know what we do here. We all about collaboration, motivation, inspiration, and information and creativity. So let's get it popping. Y'all know what today is. It's Wednesday, so it's time to talk management with Mike Chancey. I'm super pumped. I'm super dope. For y'all that don't know who Mike Chancey is, Mellow Mac the Ruler, the one, the only. Mike, tell them a little about yourself, man.
Hey, I'm thinking, man, we might have to change my day to Monday, because I like Mellow Monday better.
Hey, Robert Vaughn got that on lock. He got the next at least 3 weeks on lock, unless you want to take an earlier slot, but that's on you. All right.
I'm just playing around. But I do like the name a little better, though. I like the name Mellow Monday a little better.
Mellow Monday. See, sipping on his tea. Okay.
Yeah, but what was the question again? I'm sorry. You want to know a little bit about myself?
Yeah, just tell them a little about yourself, bro.
Well, name Mike Chancey. Most folks call me Mellow. Actually, I tell everybody my name is Mellow. Everybody. I mean, there's reasons behind it. My name is just too popular, man. Just a quick story. I had a meeting out here at the SLS a couple months ago. And I got to the table and we sitting around discussing a record from one of my artists. All 5 minutes of the table name was Mike.
Wow.
So there's like Mike. Everybody's like, huh? You know what I mean? Looking up. So it's like, that's why I just tell everybody my name is Mellow. But it just makes it easier for me to deal with people on the outside. But back to my story. You know, my name is Mellow. Born and raised in Pittsburgh. Probably around 2005. Got an independent record deal. Took me to Atlanta, Georgia. I was down there for about 6-something years, something like that, doing my thing. 2011, 2012, got sick. Um, that's the reason why I sip on tea so much now, because my acid reflux is so bad it ate through my vocal cords, got to my esophagus. I mean, sorry, reverse that. Ate through my esophagus, got to my vocal cords, stopped me for talking for a year. You know what I mean? And then another year spent in rehab. And in that year, I decided I was going to move to the other end of the business. So this was around 2012. I decided I was going to move to the other side of the business. Went and built a recording studio out in North Sales, out in a suburb outside of Pittsburgh. And then started managing folks, you know what I'm saying? Started managing acts, and just wanted to lend the network I built over the years to others. Like, I couldn't use it no more for myself because my career as a rapper was over. You know, I had a nice little buzz at that point when everything went down. I did 70 shows that year, had music on the radio. You know, it's just everything went downhill off of health, you know what I'm saying, off of acid reflux, which is crazy. But and me just knowing the rap game and the industry, like, it's waves change, things change. So being out the game 2 years, it was like, I ain't trying to fight that. You know what I mean? Like, my end game was always the other side of the business anyways, except my end game at first was to be a label head. You know, but once I built that network of me being in the game for those 5-6 years and being on the road and getting to, you know, meet with some of the bigger artists in the industry and recording at some of the bigger studios, and just knowing just damn near everybody in the Southeast from all the way up to the East Coast that had something to do with it, had something to do with the game. It was like, you know what, let me just lend my network to others that was like me at one point, because that, you know, everything we did, you know, the saying, the day we got it out the mud for real, because we didn't have nobody. Like, I didn't have no old heads to look at, like, yo, help me. We learned on the go, so we got burnt so many times on the go. You know what I mean? Everything we did was a learning experience by just getting out there and putting our feet to the fire. So, you know, it was like, I started thinking like more like, I don't want, of course I can't save everybody, but I don't want everybody to have to go through something like that. If I can help you, then I'm here to help you. So I started getting on the other side of the game, started managing folks, and this is where we at now. I'm in Los Angeles now. That's where I live at. Out here enjoying the good weather. Wishing we is allowed outside though. You know what I'm saying? Really gonna do more.
Right. So you got a few artists, man. You got a few producers. I think today, and we talked a little bit offline. Let's talk a little bit about artist development, because I know that's like one of your like niches, if you want to say that as a manager. I guess you want, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you about to say?
No, go on. I'm gonna let you finish. Oh, I dropped my lighter.
So yeah, I really want to talk about artist development, because I think that would be good for the community, and specifically talk to us a little bit about what artist development is.
I mean, there's truly no one cookie cutter term. It's basically like just continuously to develop your craft. Like, don't be in a rush to put an unfinished product out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be in a rush to put a product out there that's not ready. And that goes from not just your music, that goes from you, because you're a product also.
That's good.
So, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be ready to be in front of the light, you know, to be in the light, because as we spoke last week, there's times when, like, you know, an artist can make a dope record, but that's all they got. So they make that dope record, and now when it's time to run with that record, the record is outrunning them because they ain't built for everything else that's about to come.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So, like, when it comes to artist development, there's so many different ways. So back in the day, you know what I mean, when labels was getting artists, they was developing sounds. It was artist development to develop a sound, develop everything, that your whole package, your sound, your look, you know what I'm saying? Your you know, how do I want to say it? Like, it's not a business, but you are a business. So like your mission statement, basically, like what you live by, you know what I'm saying? So people were definitely, labels were developing artists back then. They're not doing that no more.
Yeah.
Labels aren't doing that no more.
Why do you think that is though?
Well, I mean, one of the reasons is, like, labels are looking for a product now. You know what I mean? The internet changed the game, man. The internet changed the game. So with that being said, like, you know, labels start losing money on developing artists. They had to shelve so many artists. So now they're looking at the easy way out. So now we got the internet, right? So now all you artists got the internet. You can go out there and build your own fan base. And you could come to me already with a fan base of 20, 30,000. So nowadays, labels looking at it like, look, you got to come already established. You got to come with your whole package ready. You got to come with that ready because, and we still gonna take the same percentage we was gonna take 20 years ago when we was developing you. We might take more now because we're gonna 360 you. So it's just the label shift, and I don't want to call them greedy, but they are, you know what I mean? But it's just where the game went. So they're not taking time to develop you no more because that costs too much money. You know what I mean? They were spending millions of dollars on artists to do that. Well, now, it's so crazy how the game just changed. How many internet sensations have we had? We've had artists blow up on their own. Just look at guys like 21 Savage. He did distribution through what's it called? The one that everybody uses, DistroKid. And
I never knew that.
And he blew up through that.
Wow.
You look at nowadays, like the kid NOE Chopper, you know what I mean?
Yeah, United Masters.
And went platinum with that.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Like there's just so many different ways to get there. Labels was trying to cut corners. They're like, man, we ain't got time to hold you for 2-3 years and develop your sound and this and that. So we want you to come with your package already ready. Right. So that's why I'm so big on artist development now, because if your goal is to get to a label, which could be your goal, you know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you which is right or which is wrong. Of course, I have my opinion, but if your goal is to get to a label, then you got to come already ready. Like you just can't have a dope song and try to put it out there to the people. They're gonna look at you like, nowadays they're gonna ask you about your numbers on socials, how many numbers you moving on your streaming, what kind of press you getting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna Google you online to see how many folks are talking about you.
Right.
You want to just be ready. And so if you want to dig deeper into what I mean by certain points of development, do you want to do that or?
Yeah, we could definitely dive into that, man. Let's do that.
All right, first and foremost, man.
I think starting with the first one and like really breaking that down, because if we don't start with the foundation, then the house will crumble if you try to build off of a rocky foundation. So I think even if we don't get to nothing else, let's really talk about what the foundation of,
all right. First thing first, for me, like I said, my artist development is it might be a little bit different than some other folks think. Like my first thing is learn the industry. Like I spoke on this last time. Learn the business, man. Learn as much as you can so you know what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you definitely gotta, it's like you gotta understand what you want. If you know what I mean, in order to get what you want, you gotta understand what you're getting yourself into. So that's first thing first. Like we talked about it last week, pick up some books, do some reading, get on stuff like this, learn, utilize your social medias, social media. Like if you're following anybody that you like, not like that you like, but people that you look up to in the industry, follow them. Like right now is the perfect time because there's so many free webinars going on. There's so many free webinars going on. Depending on who you follow, you can find it all the time. Like I was on this conference, I think about last week or maybe a week and a half ago. It was called Put Yourself On Live, and it was a dope little conference. They had a couple industry guys on there talking, and then in the meantime, you could go to this lovely little chat room, and it was like a networking room. So you was able to just to network with. They would randomly match folks. I'm on there. I've been to a million of these, man. Like I said, you could never know too much. I always just watch to see if I could pick up another gem or a jewel, you know what I mean? And see if I could utilize something that another manager is doing with to help my clients, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm in there networking with, excuse me, that truck riding by. I'm meeting producers from like Amsterdam and meeting songwriters out of New York and people from all over the world, you know what I'm saying? So like, utilize the tools that you have in front of you for free. Right. That's the first step for me. That's always the first step for me. Like learn and network, man.
So would you say that would be the same foundation for a producer?
Yeah, definitely. You definitely gotta like. Because my thing is, you can always just go hit the keys and make something dope. But if you don't know how to present it to the next person, what's the point? Or if you if you are getting yourself beat because you are selling yourself cheap, you know what I mean? I just think that's
Quotes. Quote that boy Mello back. Getting yourself beat because you're selling yourself cheap. You can tell he was a rapper.
but I just think that's the foundation for anybody in any business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna get into any business, if you're gonna learn real estate, right? If you say you're gonna sell houses, you just ain't gonna go get it. You ain't gonna just go to wake up in the morning and go buy a house and then try to sell it.
Right.
You gonna have to you got to learn about it first. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn a little bit about the ins and outs and what you're doing. And it ain't all about reading a book. Sometimes it's just seeking out mentors. We talked about that last week. Sometimes it's just like I said, it's really utilizing the tools you have in front of you. It's not easy to find a mentor. It's truly not. But a closed mouth don't get fed. So you'll never know unless you go ask somebody.
Yep. That's facts.
To me, that's the start. Now we dig into the music.
Yeah.
So now the music. So practice your craft, man. Practice your craft. Excuse me.
Hold on. I hope y'all out here taking notes because Z dropping some gems and I'm taking heed. All right.
I would say practice your craft, man. You know, there's like I talk to my artists all the time, right? And I'm like, yo, you in quarantine right now, right? Yeah. So what you been doing? Are you practicing your shows? Oh, there ain't no shows going on no time soon. What that mean? What that mean? Practice it. So when the shows do come back, you ready.
You ready, right?
You ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, so always, you know, that's, and we skipping a step there, but basically I'm just saying, like, if you're a rapper, practice your craft, man. Like, just continuously create records, especially if you have access. Now, if you don't have access, that's a different story. If you got, I know a lot of y'all guys got access to a mic in your room and whatnot, just continuously make as many records as you possibly can, man. And like all the records they all don't gotta hit the streets.
Right.
But what's gonna happen is as you continuously make records, you're gonna continuously master the art of MC, and you're gonna master, you know what I mean, your way around the booth. You're gonna master your breath on how you control, on how you deliver. You're gonna master your memory. So you know what I mean, you don't gotta look at the phone no more and read it too much. You know, it's already there.
That's good.
So you know, or the notebook or however you do it. If you already come off the head, sometimes you come off the head, you thinking about it. But if you keep practicing it, you don't think about it no more. It just flows a lot different. That's the way that you could develop yourself. Just continuously work on your craft, work on your craft. Producers the same way. Man, I'd be in there right now. If I ain't have a job where I was working from home, or if I had the time to do something, or if I ain't in no school or nothing like that. I think school just ended around the country for most colleges anyways. I would be making beats all day long, man. All day long. You know, I would just go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like that's literally been my go-to is just like if I'm not really writing right now, which I'm about to start writing again, because I'm working on a project. I'm literally since I lost my job February 27th, bro, I've been literally making beats, working on my mixes. If I'm not working on mixes, if I'm not working on beats, I'm watching videos to figure out how I can succeed or how I can get better or how I can grow. And it's just like I've planned out a schedule every single day is this. Like I work this like it's my 9 to 5 because it is my 9 to 5. It's my bread and butter. It's how I want to live. So it's like if this is how I want to live, if this is what I'm trying to do, then that's what I got to do. And that's the same thing. Like I encourage anybody to do that.
Man, I always live by this quote, man. Do the things that the next man won't, so you get all the things that the next man don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like you got to really put that time in, and sometimes you got to put in overtime. While other boys are sleeping, you're supposed to be hitting them pads. You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to tell you to go out there and black out for 24 hours straight. I'm just saying use your time wisely. I understand we all got lives, we got families, we got girlfriends or boyfriends. You know what I mean? There's any ladies here or whatever you into. You know what I'm saying? Like there's everything out there. So you got to spend time with your loved ones. But when you ain't spending your time with your loved ones, man, work on your craft. And if you ain't working on your craft, learn more about your craft. Learn more about your craft.
Yeah.
So that's like one thing that I stress with anybody that I work with. You know what I mean? Just continuously a lot of people go through phases where they don't want to create music because they say they're not feeling it. But I'm like, shit, that's the time when you're supposed to create.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, just keep it, because it's like I said before, man. You think Steph Curry get up? Think about, you think when he get up every day, he feel like going to shoot the basketball?
Right. Yep.
You
Not
think
at
you
all.
think he do? You know what I'm saying? Man, y'all ain't never heard them stories about Kobe Bryant, man. Like this dude going in the gym at midnight, and then the people coming in for practice in the morning. They're like, oh, you the first one here? Like, no, I never left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So those are, that's how you become great. It's like it's a muscle memory. You got to keep doing it over and over and over. Practice. Now, as we go down the line, so we talk about the music, that's for producers and for artists. But so that's where I'm at with it. Now, as far as developing a style.
And then hold on one second. So then also, y'all, like I know we got about a nice chunk of people watching. Shout out to Dior, shout out Pizza Party, shout out John Keys. I see y'all chatting it up. Definitely connect with each other. Use this time to really conversate and build. But also, man, like use this time to ask questions as well. Because we're opening up to questions. Like, yeah, Mike's dropping gems. He's giving that knowledge. But if y'all got a question about something he's saying or something specific to you, definitely ask it and we'll definitely get to it. Because this is I say this all the time, and people ask me like, what is this for, man? This ain't for me. This is for we. So let's get this together. So it's all about collaboration. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
So in the midst of that, you'll have that magic moment. You know what I mean? So after you putting in them hours and you working hard, you'll have that magic moment when it's like, oh shit, this thing got easy. Like, oh, I'm in my groove now. Yeah. I'm in my groove. You giving out like your records that you're producing is like they all hitting now. Before you was, I mean, some people try to be biased to themselves, but let's be real. We all know we all put some duds out here and there. If there's a rapper, I done definitely put some duds out. You know what I'm saying? So. But there was a point in time when I hit that groove, it was like, yo, shit is coming. Yeah. It's coming. So now that's when you feed the people with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you hit that magic moment and you almost at a peak. I ain't saying you at your peak, but you almost at a peak. It's like watching a rookie in sports. You know what I'm saying? A rookie in sports, they go through that first couple of weeks. It might be rough for them. Then after a while, they hit that groove.
They hit that rhythm. Yep.
They hit that rhythm, and it's like, ooh, okay, now that's the rookie we all thought we was gonna see. And then 5 years down the line, the boys are the best player in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, but it takes that amount of time. And how much work they put in. You see, I had to say 5 years down the line, they become the best player in the league. They don't become the best player in the league as soon as they hit that rhythm. That rhythm is just the beginning of it.
Somebody asked a question. It's kind of off topic, but kind of going back a little bit to what we talked about. Shout out to Art by Zay. What's your take on the whole United Masters thing?
Distribution wise, I mean,
yeah.
To me, that's each its own type of situation. Like I've contacted every one of them distribution sites. They particularly all offer similar services, just a little bit different from each other. Like United Masters, specialty is their owner was huge in marketing and branding. So he has connections with like the NBA and NBA 2K and the NFL. So he's connected to that, but it's still a long shot for artists to get involved in those. But I know artists personally that have made it to NBA 2K. So, you know what I mean? If that's what you're looking for, they're definitely a dope service. They have different tiers also, of course. Like a lot of these services got different tiers. So they'll have a tier where you just you'll submit, you'll be the artist you are, and you just work it yourself. But if you dope enough, like they did with NLE Chopper, then they'll put some money behind you and push.
Right.
I mean, so it's really just do your homework on all of them, man. Between them, AWOL, I know AWOL they have to accept you, but AWOL has 3 tiers also. Then there's DistroKid, of course. Then there's Amuse. Then there's Level. There's CD Baby, and there's TuneCore. But I do like United Masters. I do like United Masters, and the thing about United Masters is they're still fairly new, so they're only growing. And if you guys are in tune to what Steve Stout is about, that's the guy who owns United Masters. You can tell. I mean, he's the real deal. So it's only going to get better and better.
Yeah. So when we talk about, when you talk about, I know you said you done your homework and reach out. Since we're talking about them, what's the difference? Like, how could a producer do a split when it comes to United Masters? I know we talked about it a little bit, but I know like it's easier for DistroKid for splits to happen. What is that process for a producer? I know a lot of producers have been struggling with that. Like, how do I get my splits? So how do I get my cut of the record from my royalties if an artist releases it through United Masters?
If are they tapped into a pro?
I don't know. Let's say they're.
So for all y'all I'm sorry, for all y'all who don't know what a pro is, it's a performance rights organization that's either ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not tapped into that, jeez, then you probably gotta. It's a good question because like I make sure everybody I work with is tapped into,
yeah.
So we don't have no type of questions. So
right.
I make sure that everybody is tapped into a pro. Like so, either with ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC. Most of my artists are with either ASCAP or BMI.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually split down the middle. I got 2 with ASCAP and 2 with BMI. And, I mean, there's really no difference in them, man. It's depending on where you live at, what's gonna make the difference in those pros. But that's the best way, man. Just make sure. So this is what I mean by development, though. This is what I mean. Let's take this back. This is where we at with it. This is what I mean by understanding and learning the game. So if you come into the situation and you're a producer and you plan on selling records to artists, then you should be looking about signing with a pro, either at ASCAP or BMI, signing as a writer and as a publisher.
Yeah.
So that way, so how it works is ASCAP will break the pie down into a 50% pie of publishing, 50% pie of writing, which is still 100, but that's just the way they break it down. So as a producer, you're entitled to 25 on each side of that. So you know what I mean? As a writer.
Whoa, break that down. Hold on. Break that down a little bit. Because a lot of producers, I think, miss that because I think a lot of people think, oh, I just get half of the publishing or I just get half of the producer credit. No, like break that down.
No. So this record is your record and the artist's record. Now, once you sell it to the artist, whatnot, it's their rights to, once you sign the rights over, it's their rights to do whatever they want to, but you still have rights. You still have collecting rights. You know what I mean? You still could receive on royalties. So if you go into ASCAP, for instance, and you look at the, I wish we had a graph, I would draw this shit, but I wish my whiteboard wasn't so, I just did a whole marketing plan on my whiteboard yesterday, so, and I can't erase it yet. But
well, hey, we'll get it ready for next week.
Okay, so it's like so production wise, if you're a producer, just say me and you do a record, right? A. Jones produced it, Mellow Max the rapper. So how we do this is we go into ASCAP. I sign the composer. I mean the author side. I'm the author in the writing. You're the composer in the writing, and we split it down the middle. So we split that 50-50, which in terms of ASCAP would be 25-25.
Right.
That's on the writing side. On the publishing side, we do the same thing. Now, if you were signed to a label, your publishing side would be a little different, but the producer still gets theirs. The producer always gets their half on both sides, the writing side and the publishing side. But if you with a label, now you and the label going to split that. The artist and the label is going to split that pub side. Now, if there's multiple writers on the record, if there's multiple writers on record, just say I had me and one of my artists, Johnny Good. Just say me and him wrote the record. Me and him split that 25, however the split should be. If we did an equal half, we'll go 12.5, 12.5. The producer still get his 25. You know what I mean? Still get his half of the pie. So producers, y'all always get y'all half of the pie. Don't let nobody tell you different. Now, here's where you'll run into some situations like where if you start dealing with bigger writers here and there, they may demand a bigger cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something you and your team gotta negotiate and work out.
Right.
That's when you call a guy like me. I go in there with the, it's like, you know what I mean? I always tell folks, like, it's not my job to be their friend. You know what I mean? Like, as an artist, you got to stay buddy with the producer, not me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
Did that answer that question though?
No, I think it did. Like, it definitely answered it for me. I think it was earlier this week though. Not even earlier this week. It's just been a constant conversation in general between the community. Like, how do I get my royalties? What do I do here? What percentages do I get? What's the breakdown? You know what I'm saying?
So also, like I was saying, this do your homework. There's some if you got money online, right, you can sign up with Sound Exchange.
So but before you keep going, also make sure if you have not, he about to break down some stuff. Definitely check out the last 2 episodes. We broke down streaming on Mondays with Robert Vaughn, and we broke down publishing, and he went in detail with the detailed conversation of what those things are. But Mike is about to school y'all on some things with Sound Exchange. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
So like if you got money online, if you're on like online radio or just multiple, you know, I mean, just any online sites, if your music's there, you can sign up through Sound Exchange so you can collect through there. There's so many different ways of collecting. There's places, there's companies that will collect for you if you got money on YouTube. If you got records on YouTube that you haven't got your royalties from. There's so many places you could check out. Yeah, we gotta. What we got to do with this situation is we got to create a little database for them. You know what I mean? So when we tell them stuff, we can like send them somewhere and they can look and see it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I mean, but if you guys want to talk a little bit more in depth with it, man, you can always hit me up. Hit me up at on IG at Mellow Mac the Ruler. That's MELLOMACTHE Ruler LULER. So you know what I mean? Like, because I don't think we got enough time to really dig super deep into every one of these things.
Right.
And plus, Mr. Vaughn already went over a lot of that stuff. So, you know, we'll continuously piggyback off each other. And I'll definitely follow up with some of this conversation. But this is where we was talking about before, or on what I try to establish as development with the artists that I'm working with. And it's not just developing their sound or look and their style and their message. It's about developing their understanding and knowledge of the industry at the same time. There's so many different ways. Like you could go Google what's that joint called? I just checked it out yesterday. Hold on, I got you because I was just
shout out to Robert Vaughn in the chat right now. He said that's why production contracts are so important, and he said everyone gets whatever is agreed to.
Yeah, you could go check out something like it's called AdRev, you know what I mean, .net. You check out them, they do collecting, like if you got something on YouTube or whatnot that you ain't got paid for, they found lost money there or whatnot.
It's called AdRev.
Yeah, ADREV.net. Okay. I was just on a webinar thing yesterday. Yesterday, Tuesday. Through this management group I'm with, you know, they put it on. And you can check a site like that out if you looking for your missing money or whatnot. But there's just so many ways. We talked about Sound Exchange. We talked about your regular pros. And your regular pros, I mean, you might get pennies here and there or quarters or dollars. But if you got some records doing pretty well on streaming on ASCAP, on Spotify or Apple Music, then you might get yourself a couple $100 here and there. Especially if you're putting up numbers in the hundreds of thousands or whatnot.
Right. That's dope. So talk a little bit more about what you believe is, you know, we talked about the foundation of what, you know, artist development looks like. Then talk about that from a management standpoint, like you talking to a young up and coming manager, somebody that's just, and I wouldn't say young, just somebody that's like, all right, I didn't been in the game for a minute. I need to make a switch and I want to dive into management. but I got an artist that I need to develop. What would you like? How would you go with that conversation? Them asking you for advice.
I mean, basically, just tell them the same things I just
You just said,
spoke on. It all depends on where they're at with the artist, though. So
hmm,
if they're a manager that's looking to spend some money and put some money into the artist, I would tell them be careful when putting a lot of money into them right away until you know for sure they found out who they are.
hmm,
Because you know what I mean, a lot of times you got to pivot because the artists ain't found out who they are. They'll give you a record and you go in a certain direction, and they come back the next time they get completely something different. So that's the downfall of being independent and working on your own dime sometimes. And it happens all the time, man. Like I got an artist right now, young guy. He's finding who he is. He's 21
hmm,
years old, so it's only right.
right,
He's dope though. He's dope. So his music is dope, but him trying to find exactly who he is a process. And you know, it's a process that takes patience. And
yeah,
luckily, I'm a patient man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why I believe that's one of the reasons why I'm good at what I do
yeah.
because
So,
I do have to pay.
so at what point? Because we've talked about a lot of different aspects, but you haven't said anything about. You talked about the music. You talked about um, doing your research. You talked about information. At what point does branding come in? And you establishing a brand for yourself as an artist, or you working with your management to establish a brand? Because you talked about everything else, and we haven't even touched on.
So basically, that's where I was just at though with it. So what I'm
Mm,
saying is, before you invest, that's what I say. If the manager was at the point, if I meet a manager and he's bankrolling a situation,
mm,
you don't want to start. You know, you got to be careful in investing in that brand. That's what I was talking about investing in because
right, right, right.
artists don't know who they are yet. That brand is going to continuously pivot. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So, and you brand through your style, through your message. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? From how you deliver it. You know what I mean? Of what you're talking about. So, and sometimes artists just be a little bit everywhere with it. You know, we was on the
mm,
call Sunday and there was the artist that was bouncing around a little everywhere with it. Music was dope though. Music was dope,
right,
but
right,
you never know, man. Like you can't tell a. I mean, a perfect example is if you look at but these labels had money. So if you go back and look at the journey of like a Mac Miller, right?
mm,
If you remember what he was when he was first in high school, you know what I'm saying? He was different than what he was when he moved to LA and became like that more funkadelic Mac. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah, yeah,
So imagine if he was just running with a random guy that was bankrolling that whole situation and was trying to make him like the average kid. You know what I mean? But that really wasn't what he was. Really, what he was.
mm,
The majority of his career, he was the more like psychedelic. You know what I mean? With the funky rhythm and the music. You know what I'm saying? Live instrumentation and playing Larry Fisher, the Fisherman, the producer or whatnot. You know what I mean? That's what
mm-hmm.
his career was. So, and that's just a good example of how artists shift into who they are. So I mean, if you got long money, then you can like if you got a label, labels can deal with that type of situation. But if you are on your own, it gets tough. So you want to make sure that you and your artist consistently have talks, and you ask him the tough questions. Like I bet it, I'm gonna bring Pick the Tech on here one day, and you could ask him how I be pressing him. Like I press him all the time. I
Yeah.
press him all the time, and it's out of love because I just want to establish like what direction we are going in,
Mm,
and I want him to understand like we can't jump around from direction to direction because we don't have that bankroll like that.
mm,
So we got to be strategic about it. So your brand is important, like, and your brand is one of the most important things about you as an artist. Honestly,
yeah.
you know, we see it all the time where certain artists can just. I mean, there's a lot of artists' brands being killed right now, like Kanye. Like,
Mm, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, but it's fortunate enough for him that he's already made the bag. You know what I mean?
Right.
This ain't the beginning of his career, but just imagine if it was.
Mm,
There's a lot of folks that's looking at him different now from what he's saying, from the hats he's wearing. You know, it's just not. There's a lot of artists whose brand get killed by things that they do outside of the music.
mm,
Like we seen it. Like look at R. Kelly.
right. Yeah.
His brand is
Yeah.
completely it's tarnished. it's tarnished now. It's tarnished, and so branding is so important. To bring it back to your original question, how do I talk about it? I learn from an artist standpoint. So when I used to work with one of my favorite producers I work with, I used to work with him. He used to always, before we worked on anything, and I seen him, and now I end up managing him. So like Nisha Beats, like I used to watch him work with artists, and before he even touched the key, he would sit there and have conversation with them for hours, just so he could understand who they are and the direction that they're trying to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we don't waste time. So we don't waste time or money.
Yeah.
And I learned that.
That's good.
And I learned that as manager too, when I'm dealing with my artists. Like we had these conversations, because the worst thing, I think somebody asked me last week, like, what's one of the things that makes an artist hard to work with? The flip flop makes it hard, man. The flip flopping, because you got to understand, like when we dig into our network, when we dig into our contacts, these ain't guys that we could just ask multiple favors for. So if we asking a favor because we think something's going one direction, but then all of a sudden you come back a couple weeks later and you flip flop and went a whole nother direction, that's a bridge that we burn it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
I hope I ain't bouncing around too much with it.
No, you're good. You're good. I think you're right on key, because you know what I'm saying, like you talked about the foundation. You really broke down, just the beginning stages of artist development for artists in general and what they should be doing specifically. This is also knowledge that people pay for to get, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you're going into like, hey, like, no, like this is like you giving them the game of what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like make sure you're paying attention to your brand and knowing who you are first before you go into trying to say, oh, this is what I got and this is what I want to do. And then if you're unsure about that or you wavering a little bit, bro, like you can mess up stuff for the future, not even just for you, but for the person that's trying to take you to the next level. So just make sure, not just for your brand, but for their brand. You know what I'm saying? Like for both of y'all.
And as a manager, I would tell that manager, you got to make sure that brand aligns with something that you're comfortable with.
That's good.
Because if you ain't comfortable in the streets, then you might not want to manage a street rapper.
You might not want to manage a street rapper.
What's going to happen is you're going to end up in some uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
You're going to end up in some clubs you don't want to go to, because that's what's going to pay them to come and perform.
Yeah.
You end up dealing with some shady cats here and there. You know what I'm saying? There's shady cats all over the industry, but when you're dealing with the streets, it's a whole nother level. So that's important for a manager to understand who he's working with. That's why conversations are important. You just can't see the talent, but like, yo, you're dope. You got a manager? Let me manage you. Nah, bro, you better have that conversation with him to make sure that his lifestyle is conducive with things that you want to do also. You know what I mean? Like it matches. Like if you ain't comfortable with somebody that's, there's all types of levels of comfortability that each individual has. But if it's something that's uncomfortable with you, then how are you going to make this marriage truly work with you and your artist?
That's good. So
those are conversations I would have with any young manager or any older man, or anybody that was just asking that type of question.
Yeah. So at what point would you give a artist just that step to say, hey, all right, you got it. And well, you got your brand underway, you know who you are, you got the music, you got the talent, you got the gift. You know bits and pieces of the industry, you're doing your work. At what point would you tell them like, yo, like, let's put some music out? And what does that look like? And I wouldn't even say for artists, like producers too.
Let me backtrack a little bit. I'm not saying I'm opposed to you putting music out while you're trying to find yourself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As long as you're not completely off brand, then I'm 100% supporter of that. You could definitely put music out because you still have to find your base. Yeah, and in order to find yourself, sometimes you got to put records out there and see what folks are attracted to, and what they're not. So I'm not opposed to putting content out. Now, I'm opposed to putting content out when it's not ready to be put out because you didn't do your homework on a proper mix or rapping over a 2 track, or you know what I'm saying, just certain things that with me I always look at it like this. We got to treat every record like we competing with the big dogs.
All right.
So if you're gonna put out a record, I want it to be like you are almost competing with a Drake or somebody. Not saying you're on a level because you're not, but when they record come on and they record go off and your record come on, there shouldn't be no drop off in quality.
Yeah. Facts.
Those are those are the things that you're not saying that your song is going to sound better than his or whatnot at that moment, but what I'm talking about is sound quality. So it all goes back to something that we talked about on the call Sunday, and I think this is a key play for any artists out here or any and producers. Invest in yourself, like invest in yourself. Invest in a clean mix. Don't be in such a rush just to put a record out, man. Because
pay engineers like me to mix your stuff to quality. Silent plug.
Here's what happens a lot. Yeah, the shit might sound good in your car, but when you take it to a club and it's like a sound system that's supporting 3,000 people, it sounds muddy.
Yeah,
it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. Sometimes you got to invest in that mix, and not sometimes, all the time.
All
if you
the
believe
time,
you got
yeah.
a record, invest in that mix, invest in that master. You know what I'm saying? Invest in the whole package of your record, and of course, I know we all ain't got the money. I know. I know.
Right.
Trust me. I was there. But there's definitely engineers out here that could work with you and give you a great sound for a low price. And as you continuously get bigger and you make more money, then you can continuously take a step up and you're mixing your master. Or you might just keep going to the same guy because he's been delivering to you. You know what I'm saying? But definitely invest in that. So that's the only thing I'm opposed to about putting music out, of when it's not ready sonically.
Yeah.
Or if you just sound terrible at that moment. I mean,
how do you work with art? Like, how do you approach an art? Let's say somebody want to work with you. It's like, Mike, Mello, I got this fire record. I want you to listen to it. I really want you to manage me.
And what?
And I'm trash. I'm one of the worst rappers in the world, but I got passion.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, in today's, I'm sorry, I'm outside these buzz flying in my face, but in today's industry, sometimes, I mean, it's hard for me to judge and tell somebody if they trash or not. If you put the work in, if you got if you're doing everything that you need to do, if you did all the steps that we're talking about and you passionate about it, there might be a place for you. I can't judge on who's trash and who's not. Right. I can just tell you my opinion. I can tell you, like, yo, that record ain't ready. But if that record, you know what I mean? Because if I tell you that record ain't ready, it's probably because the beat's trash or something like that, or you just didn't sound right over the beat. But I can't tell. Look, man, there's so many rappers out today that, me personally, I think it's trash, but them boys is eating. They doing their thing. So if they got a fan base, they got a fan base. So it's not for me to judge, it's for the people.
Yeah.
It's for the people to judge. So, but on the flip side of that, I'm not going to invest my time and money in something that I don't believe in. So, but there are, you know, that's such a weird statement or conversation. Like, 'cause even as I do consulting work, I'm not going to consult something that I don't believe in. Like, it's because I don't care how much money you paying me. Like, I'm not going to do it because I don't believe in it. Because if I don't believe in it, I truly can't help you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and but like I said, on the flip side of that, there are some artists and rappers that I'm like, yo, that's not the hottest shit in the world. That's not hot at all to me. But I know there's a market for that. I know there's a market for it. So sometimes we will put some work in with some folks.
Man, management with Mike Chancey. This is super dope. Y'all check us out every Wednesday. We coming up to about an hour, man. We want to get some time for some questions. If anybody got some questions, I see Robert Vaughn was saying a couple things in the chat. Definitely check out the Facebook feed. just talking. He said something to talk about Brandon. He just said vision boards can be helpful. Definitely
I just, I don't know. I don't know if he was on earlier. Like I said, that's the reason I didn't bring my board out now.
Right.
I got a whole whiteboard with. I'm working on one of my artists' social media presence, social media brand, and how we're gonna brand around a particular record.
Yeah.
Got the whole whiteboard set up and the whole marketing plan. Working on that. Got the outline. Now we got to put the whole plan in motion over the next month for when they release this on record. So, like, I'm there with you, big dog.
It's cool, man. Like this is some good stuff and it's rich. And I think it's cool because people are gravitating towards it. So I think what we're gonna do is if anybody wants to reach out, you can if anybody wants the information that they're dropping, the gems that they're giving, drop your emails either in the chats or to a message with me. To the page. You can send it to me, you can send it to the Zone Media. And we're gonna start a email blast that we send out just the recap, not even a recap, but the resources from what, if Robert Vaughn says some stuff on Mondays, or Mike says something on Wednesdays when he's on, or Shad drops some knowledge on Thursdays when he's doing some mixing and he says a certain plugin or a certain way. Like I really want you guys to get this stuff. Or even when I'm cooking up, if I got a special pack or whatever, like I'm sending it to y'all. And there's these certain sounds that I think y'all should go get, or this new plugin that is super dope. Like I think this will help with the benefit. So definitely drop y'all emails. It'll also help y'all to stay updated on what's going on. We're really growing the channel, and this is some good stuff, man. This is stuff you don't get for free.
Can I say something also?
Go ahead, bro.
Anybody out there, man? Like, I'm open to doing next Wednesday with just, maybe y'all send questions in advance to Zone Media, or stuff that y'all would like to talk about, because I could talk about certain things all day. As y'all can see, I like to talk.
I like to talk too. I talk every show. So.
Exactly, but I'd rather answer y'all questions though. I think that would make it a lot. I think that'd be better. I'd rather hear what you guys are actually yearning to learn. You know what I'm saying? Instead of us just coming up with topics ourselves. We could still come up with topics ourselves, but I would like to hear what you guys want to know about, or some things that you guys want to talk about.
That's good. Yeah, so I think I'll put that poll out. I'll put it out in the email blast once I send that out, once I get the emails together, and I'll also put it out on all the socials, all of the Zone Medias. We'll probably do like a promo video or something. But this was dope, bro. Get the people, just to tell the people, and we can talk a little bit about that offline too. Tell the people just where they can connect with you again, how they can reach you.
It all depends on what y'all like. If y'all can y'all hear all that beeping and all that?
Yeah.
I'm sad, man. It's beeping for no reason. But hold on, I'm letting this plane go over my head.
It's cool. You good?
I'm sorry, y'all. I like to do this outside, man. I think the lighting is better.
It's the fresh air. It's the fresh air, brother.
Because my office is being utilized, so I can't really do that anymore. But we are. You can reach me on Instagram at Mellow Mac the Ruler. Zia put it in the chat how to spell it. I'm on Facebook as Mellow Mac. I'm on Twitter as Mellow Mac. I don't really use Twitter much, but I'll be getting back on it. You can just find me at Mellow Mac everywhere else, but on IG I'm Mellow Mac the Ruler. If you guys
it's 2 L's or
MELLO.
No, for ruler. You spell ruler the right way?
Yeah, rule the right way, man. I spell with proper English. They say I put the, not duh.
Are you judging? Are you judging the Zone right now? THA?
No, I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you.
Hilarious.
You guys want to send an email? You can reach me at Chancey Management. M Chancey MGMT. I'm sorry, MGMT at Gmail. we're in the process of getting the Chancey management site completed. So that'll be up in a couple weeks. So as we continuously build, you'll be able to get there and get all the information straight from there.
Yeah, that's good.
We got any questions in there today, or?
Nothing right now. I got one we talked on the one by Zay talking about United Masters. No, I think we got a few people in here, man. Like if y'all in here, shout yourselves out, where y'all from, who y'all are, all that fun stuff. We just want to make sure we touching base on everything that y'all want, everything that y'all need, and it's not just us sitting here talking, having a conversation, which is good. Don't get me wrong. I can talk to Mike all day because this is what we do. Trust me, we used to work together every day. I used to step into his office and we used to just talk about everything. Okay.
Let me give a shout out. Hey, let me give a shout out to all my folks, man. You know, you gotta be like,
you got it.
Like the first time on camera. Let me give a shout out to my mama. Like,
we got Tony Dior from Chicago. Go ahead.
What up, Tony D? Let me get a shout out to all my peoples, man. Like all the artists we work with, Sierra, Sellers, Pick Protect, Johnny Good, Nisha Beats, Influential J, Kid Called God. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to all the artists out there doing it. Shout out to everybody watching this. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all coming through, and make sure y'all keep coming through so y'all can so we can just talk. You know what I mean? We can chat it up. I'm open, man. You got some questions? And I just got a text from my mama, said she watching. What up, Ma?
Miss Elise. Man. What is crazy? This is good.
That's just something I just wanted to do. That was some funny stuff I wanted to do. I was on camera, man. I just got interviewed at the
First name Pizza, last name Party with an X from Rhode Island. Shout out Pizza Party, our producer spotlight for the week. Pizza Party,
I've been to Rhode Island once.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Never been there.
It was pretty cool. I want to go back so I can see a little bit more of it, but
I didn't know Rhode Island was a real place.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, I didn't know people live in Rhode Island, you know, until I met Pizza Party. And then it's like, oh, real people live there, you know? Just saying. I did shout. Oh, you talking about you. Your mama said, you better shout me out. Hi, Z.
I did.
Man, this was a dope show. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. Y'all know what we do here. We all about collaboration, information, motivation, and inspiration. Always staying creative in everything we do. Collaboration, y'all know what it is, because collaboration thrives creativity. So remember to always create, because you're created by the creator. We out.
That was a lot of creation.